Okay, so now we're going to just do a quick overview what all the pieces are of our design and what the system is for the arm. So over here, maybe you can't see it, maybe you can. Can you switch over? We've got an 8-gallon compressor, goes up to about 125 psi. We're going to use never any more than 90 or 100 psi, and usually probably around 40. It's actually pretty powerful to get 90 or 100 psi out of this thing, so we'll do most of our work at 40 psi. We've got, we installed into the regular compressor a ball valve, and then some quick connects going into our tubing here. And so this is our power source. Everything's coming into this here. Now to control the air into the pneumatic cylinder, ultimately we're just trying to control this pneumatic cylinder here. So I'm just going to work all the way up. We have a 5-way valve, and this valve is either on or off, which we'll talk about later is actually a problem. We're going to have to figure out a way to do proportional control. The air pressure comes in, and the normal open position of this valve is the air pressure will be routed to this A pipe, and then when we switch the valve with either the manual control or if we hook up 12 volt DC here, and we just stole from an old router a 12 volt DC power supply, which will be good enough, and a little switch which we scavenged from something else, probably an old dishwasher I think. That'll be enough to control this, but for now we can just press the manual switch until we're trying to computer control this later. So air can come in, and depending on the valve position, whether or not we've charged the solenoid in here, it's going to go to A or B. And when you're pushing pressure in B, you're exhausting to A. So the air has to come out from the other side, and here if I put into air pressure into A, then the air will come out from B and it will exhaust to the atmosphere, exhaust B. We've got these two speed mufflers on the back side, which help to reduce the sound of the air coming out, which is important. But really, these, if I screw them in tight, it'll prevent air from coming out. Of course, if the air can't come out, it's going to make it so it won't go, even if I pressurize A. If I open up a little bit, the air is going to come out slower. Eventually, all the pressure will equalize, regardless of what this is turned to, at whatever we're set to. But if it comes out slower, it'll make the motion a little bit slower. If I open wide open, it'll go as fast as it can possibly move the air through this diameter tubing. And same thing for exhaust A. So by having a 5-way valve, we can control the speed of the forward motion and the backward motion by how fast we let the air exhaust, because we can't really control the speed of the air coming in. So we'll control those that way. So the air is going to come through one or the other tube. And you can see here we got I think we've got a 1-inch bore cylinder. So when air goes into the back side, it's going to shove the piston forward. So that's going to go forward like that, and it will exhaust out this side. But then if we push air in on this top side, it will exhaust out the bottom. And so that way we forcibly can push forward or retract back. We've just used PVC pipe, and this is actually not glued together. We just banged it together for now until we're sure what we're doing. This is just a prototype, just to get a feel for the pneumatics here. And you can see we got that range of motion. It's a 10-inch throw on the cylinder, and that's fully retracted. You want to make sure you'll see that it doesn't retract to be perfectly linear, because otherwise it would push and it would just never move. We have to have it biased a little bit this way so that when you push air in, it's going to shove that way. And we use this clevis here to build the joint, and generally we're using 1/4-inch nuts and bolts to hold it all together. So all pretty temporary gear right now. Just want to get a feel for how to control pneumatic cylinder and see what kind of pressure we get out of it. And I think that's about all there is to show the basic pieces. We can talk about construction technique another time, but I think this shows basically what we're going to do.